당에서 직전들 갖다 그런 거 제거니 라민 남주르크 걸 됐어.
And so usually in the afternoon session, you are focusing here on the practice of Guru Yoga.
다트니 가서 저들 가서 그런 거 제거 라민 남주르르 다트니 가서 가서 냠슬랭 고야당 다다기 뒤천는 relate 냠슬랭 고야다 제게 참고해서.
And so actually this practice of the Guru Yoga of Padmasambhava, it's really important, something that's really necessary for us to do, something to engage in.
진생 간절히 세나 아니 당상의 뒤들라 님미기 뒤에서 그래서 님미기 뒤에서 영대서 다들라든 가서 리당 묘모와나 소파티다 시침보요 비갑더라 되게 말했어.
And what is the reason that particularly these days there is a great need for us to engage in the practice of Guru Yoga? It's because actually these are the degenerate times that we find ourselves in. And in the degenerate times, then the karmas and the afflictions are quite strong, quite prevalent and strong.
Yeah, 근데 다소 나랑소티 님미기 생긴세야 될라든 남덕식 침부여래서.
And it's said that the beings of the degenerate age, the beings of degenerate times, their afflicted minds, their afflicted emotions, their negative mental states are quite strong.
Yeah, 단 나랑소 님미 될라더니 남덕식 침부여나 다 가르치고 그래서나 이들라 님보되더니 식체수직들라 땡고여래서. 드레마도 없지라더니 단 남덕식 유모남덕의 식침부여서 나들라 님보되니 식체수되면나 나된데 갖고 잡아야 그래서.
And so then what is it that we need to rely on then if we find ourselves in an age and possessing these really strong negative emotions, afflictive emotions and so on, then we need an especially strong antidotes to them. If we have these really strong afflictions but we don't have an appropriately strong antidote, then we will find ourselves in a rather difficult position.
인디다 말아서 님미게 디지털 다티게 디지털들 나가서는 주소가 전부 세야 되냐면서리하게 디지털 고르컵이 약수 다 그렇던데 나도 비요 말했어.
However, for us, then we have this excellent opportunity of practicing the teachings of the great perfection, the Dzogchen.
되게 진생 간절해서 나한테 몸만 떠도니다 가서 그랬더니 식가세 제나형 가서 나더니 뒤님보대 했더니 가서 그래. 다 드세요 식침보 주소가 침보세야 돼. 냄새는 손에 나더니 가서 그래. 다 니반 내반으로 다 니반 마트마다 됐다고 체크했으면 체크 말했어. 그래서 빼지자 나더니 세모 마트 가서 나나. 자더니 다위고 올 때도 세지 더니 설그랬어.
So why is it that we should consider and understand ourselves so fortunate to be able to practice these teachings of the great perfection? It's because no matter how strong, no matter how many afflictive emotions that there is nothing that cannot be dispelled. There are none of these that cannot be dispelled, cannot be cleared away through the practices of the great perfection. If we give an example, no matter how murky and dark is the night, the light rays of the moon can cut through this darkness, of the darkest of the nights.
Oh yeah. 내가 생각하는 자 시바에 막가세 나나데 다위고 어때듯이 세계랬을 때 세반나 생각서 님미기 디데가스나 막나다 그랬어. 정말 막나 문바든 식침보이 같다고 지금 님미기 디데 니모가 남토데 식침보더니 문바다를 했어. 되게 간단하다 가르쳤더니 다 다비고 어디서를 놓는가. 다 나오신 조카 침보더니 강습을 했더니 춘리다. 다 냠슬렌 소화이나 되게 니바데 가르쳤더니 그 식체를 놓고 했어.
And so, like the darkness of the night, these that can be completely cleared away by the moon rays, the darkness of afflictions can be cleared away through the enlightened activities and practices of the great Dzogchen Temple, which are like the moon's bright rays.
된대입니다. 서가서는 유미기 때때라더니 라마더니 그런 뭐지다. 슈가서나 되기더니 가서나 다 담주 조가 전부 대니가 냠슬래다 빼마서 뒤쳤다더니까 다 개침보지 차요 봐. 어쨌든 된대랬어.
What an important and fortunate situation we find ourselves in here at the time where the Lama that we practice, the Guru Rinpoche, Padmasambhava, and the Dharma of the great perfection. What a fortunate situation.
그런 것에 간절히 지는 그런 것에 무슨 그가 유명이 되라. 아니 담바당 심진 그 발치세비라고 했어.
And Guru Rinpoche is said to be the guru that will dispel the obstacles that may lay before the teachings or come before the disciples, the students of the Dharma.
근데 이제 그런 것체가 무슨 그때라 됩니다. 발치세비가 이단세나 나대가서나 드리레스. 근데 이제 하소더니 다 유명이 되다가라고 소나다 시이 발치, 남거 발치, 상위 발치에서 발치들라더니 신앙 상승 그 발치들이 마보지요레스. 되게 갑달라더니 이 발치세비가 이דם 되라더니 소와다리들 나대라더니 변송바이나 하나라고 소 발치 담치 무슨 세비가 특제다.
And Guru Rinpoche is the particular deity, the particular God that can clear away these obstacles, these outer, inner, and secret obstacles that we might find ourselves facing. He is the yidam that we can practice and supplicate to clear these from our path. As Guru Rinpoche has the special compassionate wish to especially engage in the activities to dispel these.
근데 이제 다소 드니까 생각합니다. 저 당분이 상지 탐진 심진구 던져발라더니 찍발해서 이나요 때라 묵설 그 특질 잘리서거라 리가는 되니까 묵설 그 특질 던져 만다와던데 요래서.
And so, of course, it's generally said that all Buddhas have the wish to accomplish this as well. But actually, for Guru Rinpoche, Padmasambhava has really the special compassionate wish to engage in this particular kind of enlightened activity.
다 무슨 그 특징이 잡으려래서 대유비 생각서 상지 말랐다고 지금 빼자. 이 상지 말랐대 가르쳐놨더니 상지래서 옛날에 때라 무슨 그 특징 가르려래서는 생긴 나그 동바도 zor라더니 무슨 그 특징이더니 근데 여발에서 특징 뭐는 여발에서 근데 이제 생긴 나그더니 나살라 소파던 저기더니 식진공원데 상지 말랐대 무슨 접송하였나 tellatini na tela pantuku yobarese. I jimsen karisana ko mungsir ku karisana tani semchen ke narta so tani chayaga karisana tukchil tani chali de tani chini nago yobarese.
And so there are actually a difference in some of these different kinds of enlightened activities that the Buddhas engage in. We can take the medicine Buddha for an example. The medicine Buddha has all of the Buddha's activities, is a Buddha. However, his special enlightened wish to engage in is to clear away the sicknesses of those that are ill. He has the special aspiration to be able to clear away their illness. So when people are really sick, when they practice the medicine Buddha, when they say the medicine Buddha mantra and practice the medicine Buddha, then they receive the blessings of his compassionate wish to be able to cure them.
다가 난진 가르스는 당서 도지 셈바다 양배샤 도지 셈바 때 가르스는 라우스라다니다 직접 침부요 봐 직접 침부 같은 게 무슨 그 이든 된저를 했어 라우스라 직접 침부요나 아니 도지 셈바 때 이든 때니 샤파치 성이나 라우스로 직접 차서 무슨 그 샤타비하게 특질 된저를 했어.
And then as another example, then there is the Buddha Vajrasattva. And the Buddha Vajrasattva's special enlightened activity is to be able to clear away our great negativities. If we have engaged in great negativity and confess, supplicate and confess to Vajrasattva, to this yidam, then we receive these blessings of clearing away these negativities, of purifying.
그때 다가 나오신 가르치면 다다 시바이만 그를 무체대 그 묵스럽게 특제대 가르래 했으나 닉믹 샘진다 발질배만 보여서 근데 신앙성 그 발질도서 담지 되니 셀비 그 묵스 같은 특제 대는 그를 무체를 해봐래서 근데 인딩 그를 무체다 되니 가서 라면 남줄라 소파를 구해내더니 그를 무체더니 냠스는 소하나 와서 닉믹 발질 담지 세탁이 하게 된저 그 묵스럽게 특제 다 네바데 어떤지 해봐래서.
And so, similarly, then again, it's Guru Rinpoche who, in this degenerate age, is the deity with the enlightened wish to help us clear away our difficulties, clear away our obstacles, be rid of these outer, inner, and secret obstacles that we find in our way. And one of the methods to receive these blessings and these power is through the practice of Guru Yoga. And so again, at these declining times, to practice Guru Yoga helps us to access this power and ability.
그 공부더니 특히 대략 때문에 되나 되니까 같이 가고 온다는 마성 받다 받다 니트 받더니 공부했어.
And so as another example, to this very day, the Buddha's teachings still exist. The Buddha's teachings are around till this very day. And this has been due to the fact that Guru Rinpoche has had this wish to make sure that the teachings of the Buddha did not fall a prey to exhaustion. And to this very day, the teachings remain. They have not fallen prey to anything to destroy them. They are remaining even now.
다들 상지기 담바데 뭐 간진 그 중나 담고 제대로 바쁘 있는지 단지 시발했어. 올라타기 다서는 제부 추송대 전다. 그럼 뭐도 사던 얘기더니 그런 거 제단들 맛이 상바이나 다더니 강서부터 상지기 땜바데더니 단전시 맡아봐. 아니 담보 삼이 보그 원바탕 제그 토마데 삼이 찍락하면서 삼이 군바세요 삼이 인디다 더니 삼이 되더니 아장원이 자원이 장 맡아봐랬어. 추 그래서 강서가 단전시하다 파자 되더니 그런 거 제단들 맛이나 아니 찍락하자 되게 말했어. 찍락하
전전 마시나
땡 그런 거 제가 가서 뱀매바 있나 단전 마시가 있나 상지게 담바 볼라 단전시하다 파자쇼 찍락하자 되고 말했어. 찍락하고 뭐마야 자투고요 말했어. 그러더니 발제가 니모 미츠는 참모 land에 쉬는 되니까 니모 미츠는 하고서 연결을 못해서 야츠를 와. 참모 land에 담지 발치지는 정말 마시기잖아. 미바자
Samye
kumbatela tambo kumbajan데 니츠들은 뭐 정발해서
아니 근데 켄춘 보리사파 디 샤라라시다 디
같이 가는 지수세요.
아니 무슨
제부 추송됐지? 그럼 제부 동 컴퍼니 그래. 제가 오픈 된데 싫어하더니 그런 소리 찔라 가장 맡으니 아니 조금 되는 싫어.
And so that the Buddha's teaching still arrived today. Well, at the time of the king Tritsun Detsen, then it was actually through Tritsun Detsen who invited Guru Rinpoche to Tibet. And at that time, then, and so it's due to actually these kinds of activities. For example, due to these kinds of activities, the Buddha's teachings still remain today. At the time of Tritsun Detsen, when they were looking to build the Samye Monastery, then there were obstacles in that there were some kind of spirits, obstructing spirits, that they would build all day. They would build this monastery all day, and then in the night it would be completely destroyed. They would make it again, build it by day, and these obstructing spirits would put obstacles, and then it would be just kind of destroyed at the night. And so then Tritsun Detsen had invited Guru Rinpoche and Shantarakshita, and then Guru Rinpoche actually was to dispel these spirits. And so if the monastery couldn't have even, if these obstacles to the monastery being built couldn't even be overcome, then never mind having the teaching still remain.
이니 내가 추천됐던 거다. 이니 간진 보드사도가 시발했다. 상지기 담바 따뜻한 말했다. 지라 가야 자야 영사 말했다. 가르치고 그랬어. 탑시 열려했어. 근데 시디 다서더니 공급더니 시발해서 탑시 지기 열했어. 탑시 간진 보드사도. 탑시 열했어. 탑시대 가르쳐서 나더니 이 뭔가 특질 용행 같은 거 가르쳐서 나서다 리당 하는 건 제가 열했어. 그런 소리 제가 열했으니 그 그런 거 제대니 다다제들 파비에도 주요했어. 콘텐츠 시트바이나 그런 소리들이 강서도 찔라카양 장탑 그랬어. 산지담바양 다탑 그랬어. 다 콘텐츠 된데 맛이 손에나 그런 소 시와고 거는 듣고면 됐어. 시위가 듣고면 됐어. 근데 지나더니 어떤 나가랬어.
So at the time while this was happening, actually King Tritsun Detsen was attempting to build the Samye Monastery. And it had these obstacles to its being built. And so he talked to Shantarakshita and said, what are we going to do? We can't get this monastery built. And Shantarakshita said, well, there is a way. There is a method. There is this a great Lama staying in India. If we invite him, then we have this karmic connection, we have this formerly made karmic agreement. If you made him, it is possible. There is a method, there is a solution. But if you don't invite him, this obstacle, these obstructors, cannot be overcome through peaceful means. And so Shantarakshita laid down this prophecy.
근데 단 그런 거지 된데 시고 하고 때문에 근데 소발했어. 근데 소소한데 다서 따뜻니까 그렇습니다. 산지담 같더니 그 관심 그 정도 다려야게 지나다 인지민이 되는 시고 되겠으니 근데 지는 이제 축성됐던 거 그런 거지 된는 시야는 아빠래스.
And so he did put this prophecy out that if they did invite the great Padmasambhava, that he would be able to overcome this obstacle, that he would see in the future that the great dharma of the snowy land of Tibet would further spread, and so they invited him.
얘는 그런 거지 단전 시발했어. 그런 거지 띠까나 아스라도 지요랬어. 아스라가 작구나 패비요랬어. 띠 패고비 깝텔라니 들라짱니 보크니스 참마시 되는 드니마 다다 아스라하고요 영내셔로 지금 봐. 근데 드니파 갑자기 보나 패바랬어.
아니 데도 디 갸가르베 디 패르베.
이 아스라티네티 아스라가 작구 때 제가 사체를 띠까라. 다다 바이 뭐만 제가.
And so then they did invite Guru Rinpoche. At the time, then Guru Rinpoche was meditating in Asura cave, which at that time was in was in India, so they went and they invited Guru Rinpoche.
예, 몰라 된데 시디다서 되는 그런 무지개 사실 진지랍니. 사더니 진지랍 터비어 말았더니 그런 무지 배대 삼이 장사가 사제대 진지랍아래서 사 진지랍선 하고요. 삼들자 그래. 삼들세 그래. 삼들자 사 진지랍. 아니 산데 탐지 땀라다네. 어떤 넘버래서.
Clasendenso.
사실 저 탐지 단데도 저 탐지 땀라다네. 이제 사실 진지랍네. 그래서
And so they did invite Guru Rinpoche to Tibet to bless this land that Samye Monastery was to be built on, to suppress these local spirits and to bound them to oath. And so Guru Rinpoche did come to bless it and to bind them to oath.
아니 단데 탐지 땀라 다용디 다서 아니 땀라 딱 사대 아니 같이 제가 말았더니 같이 맞지 아니 족제가 받아. 족제 말했어. 님모 먹은 찌발린 참모산데 찌발 토스. 가르세나 닝글 먹은 찌발이다. 닝글 못어서 그다 제부 처방대 정리가랭 배 마보 여러와. 그래서 탐지 그 닝글 먹은 찌고한테 다서 참모산데 그 찌발 토야 된데 잡아랬어.
딜레 토야.
토야. 닝글 먹은 찌발린 참모산 닝글 못어서 리가리라와 아니 참모산데서 리가리네. 야테니 찌발 토야 된데 리용바 잡아랬어.
And so he bound these spirits and demons and so on to oath. And once bound to oath, they could no longer cause any harm. They could no longer lay before the project any obstacles. Actually, they became more like friends. They became aids. They were bound to oath, to help. And so then Samye was built in this way. In the daytime, then the people would work building the monastery. In the nighttime, then the gods would work. So it went like that. So in the day, the people would build it. People would build it to a certain extent, and in the night, the gods would take it even higher.
보강지 좀 고마 당보 세거를 지라 칸통 당보 될라더니 삼이 지라 칸샹다리 아니 될라 제거를 그 노트 그 반저다 차상대 된지 시바레스 반저다 차상대 된지 시 아니 도다 막그 추차상 된 지바레스 그 깨끗한.
And so this is the way that Samye Monastery was built, and it is the oldest monastery in Tibet. It was the first one built in Tibet. And then having been built, then they invited the great scholars from India, and then all of the sutras and the tantras were translated. And so from that very time of the building of Samye Monastery until now, then all of these, the Buddha's teachings of the sutras and the tantras have not fallen to any fault, have not been diminished.
장직세는 삼삼아야 보따라야 삼삼아 만냠송아 근데 장직 뭐고 정말 있나요? 상직이 땀바데 그런 일이 되거든. 상직이 땀바데 같이 광고 간다요. 로마타바. 마송 같은데 지대리거든. 다디 바드니가 됐다 그런 무지 특집들 이 말에서 다시 시바 임방 그런 무지 되는 심에나 상직 땀바다라 파샤쇼다. 질라카장도 그 말이었어.
And so until now they haven't been eliminated. They haven't degenerated. Generally speaking, things can go in upward and downward cycles. They can come in and they can go out. They can kind of move up and down in these cycles. But the Buddha's teachings have stood firm. They have not fallen under any sway or any obstacles that have eliminated them or degenerated them. This would not have happened if it weren't for inviting Guru Rinpoche, because if it were for inviting Guru Rinpoche, Samye Monastery would not even have been able to be built.
아니 복강진 중나 사직 담바데 자니들 맞는데 가서 주지치 무지했으니 다들 이거 말했어. 주지치 무지했으나 보서
디 Guru Rinpoche, Guru Rinpoche ki
주지치 무지 사자 냐마 같이 길리게 센터에 주지치 무지했어요. 주지치 무지예요 말했어. 주지치 무지 같은 거 가서는다. 라마 조조지라 그래서 차 상태 그런 무지가 남주인 말이에요. 그런 무지가 남주인 말 광수 로지나마야 송여를 농구양 선여랬어.
And so then there are the four great schools of the Buddhism, the Sakya, Nyingma, the Kagyu, Sakya, Nyingma, Kagyu, and Galupas. And so there are the four great schools of the Buddhism, of this Tibetan Buddhism tradition, and it's said in each of those, there is the head of each of those. There is one great Lama in the very head of all of those, and actually for all of them it's said to be Guru Rinpoche. One of the different emanations of Guru Rinpoche has been the head of each of these great schools, and this was laid down in the stories of the life stories of Guru Rinpoche in the prophecies.
근데 이 말았다더니 이때나 나 사체가 남아 주어졌더니 가서 그래. 사분 근가 점선색으로 와. 사분 근가 점선은 세든지 열었더니 더 소양통당 그런 거지 그 가서 그랬더니 이 엄마 같은 거라서 봤더니 만보기 나왔더니 그런 거지 그 남주인 받고 나왔더니 송을 버렸어.
And then the head of the Sakya, Sabun Kunga Jamse?
Sabun Kunga Jamsen.
Jamsen. Was also within the Great Ornament Sutra said to be one of the was said to be Anidi Pama di Lupa Rinpoche Gitruwa was also an emanation of Guru Rinpoche.
네, 아트샤이 주발로 장차가서 제가 로장 잡아대양 가르스나 아트샤데 되네 그런 거 제가 남쪽에 봐 되네 그런 것들 나 이거래서 로지도 서로나 아트샤가 주발데 되네 컨셉을 제가 로장 잡아야 그런 던지지 된다 너도 남쪽도 따마도 되는 그런 거 제가 남쪽 가는 던지 차요 그랬어
아니 디 아티샤당 Lopa Rinpoche Gitruwa
말에 그럼 아트샤 그런 거 지남 들어 아트샤 그럼
and then Diga Lopa Rinpoche
말이 그거야 말 아트샤 자그티 말해 얘는 파세 그거
아니 디
조지 받다 아트샤 쓰기
and so then Atisha then who was also said to be an emanation of Guru Rinpoche. Ani Losang Trapa Gondati Gotsomoso.
Losang Trapa Atashay Truba. Atashay Truba Losang Trapservati. Atashay Truba Losang Trapa.
So then it went like this. Then first there was Guru Rinpoche, who then was an emanation of Atisha. And then Atisha was an emanation of
Atashay Truba. Say, you go much of them. Rinpoche Truba Losang Trapa.
Of Tsongkhapa. Yeah, Gonda the Injitsi ani Jason. The Losang Trapa ani the Injikim Mare.
So she said it. I need to pension those on Chapasi. Pension those on Chapatan. Need that, Namachi Cheshukari. Any Karma Pamichu Durjetan. Any that any Chunang get any Chunang Taranatayora, the Chuji Cheshu Chasan to Sorabati. The child sounded in the room chicken number and the Koran so the number Lugina not be Salgut in the US.
And so then it goes like this with many of the great lamas of all of these different lineages, just as it had here with Tsongkhapa. coming from Atisha, who was also an emanation of Guru Rinpoche, and then Karmapa Micha Dorje, also having an emanation, being an emanation of Guru Rinpoche, and within the Jonang, also the head being an emanation of Guru Rinpoche. And this is all laid out very well in the histories and the life stories.
근데 이제 도통진 중 실직을 남아 뜻이 조조 자성되다니다 조조 자성된 그런 무지 남들 그런 들이 임발에서 근데 일단 그런 무지가 들이 실직을 남아 조조 되게 남발을 전에 상직이 담반된 진정 배선들 전에 나요 버렸어.
And so Guru Rinpoche actually emanated into these great lamas that all held a place in all of the different four schools. Of the four great schools of the four.
근데 이제 그런 무책을 가서는 특집되거든. 주지 전부 이제 배나 조나고 집하다 북한진 정도 나갔단 말이요. 그래서 같이 강하고 많다. 마성 받았다. 받은 좀 배선 나오네. 근데 지금 말이더니 나한테 어떻게 됐어? 같이 그거한테 마성 받더니 주지 전부 자상 그 라마 조종 그런 지난 전에가 그런 건데 만든데가 대인이다. 그런 부채가 되게 주지도 저거 라마주 되게 나발랑 그런 부채 배기다니나 상직이 담아 종구여 봐. 종책이여 봐. 근데 지는 상직이 담아 답답하더니 되랬어. 레라움데
And so Guru Rinpoche emanated into all of these into all of these great schools, and actually having done so, this is what allowed the spread of the Dharma and the continuance of the Dharma to this very day, that he emanated in this very way to be able to preserve the Dharma so that the Dharma would not fall under the sway of obstacles that would prevent it from spreading and remaining.
근데 그런 무채의 그 특집 대표 마스 그 전부를 해서 그런 무채들다. 근데 지금 도다 아니겠는 일단 도들 시작자다 봤어. 도 나오진 도 따뜻하니 도그 돈바데 상지 시작자다 봐서. 아니 막것도 돈바데니 우진파 말해서. 근데 이제 다시 따더니 강서 도다 아니 일단 받는 리치다리는 강서들다 주중 걸고 있는 데 봐서.
And so the Dharma has arrived through the different turnings of the wheel, and this has been through the great compassionate wish of Guru Rinpoche, be it the sutras or the tantras, the great teacher of the sutras, the Buddha Shakyamuni, and the great teacher of the tantras, Guru Rinpoche, have all turned the Dharma wheel.
던지지다 했는데 따뜻해 상직이 담바다 지시바인바 던지지다 상직이 담바 대형 가르쳐놨더니다 같이 강고가 마송가 던지지다 무슨 그런 뭐지 특집 던지 종발을 했어 얘네 가르쳐놨더니다 뉴미기 대대라니 semjen나다 지시바나 시 파치 가르쳐놨더니 나그 파치 상위 파치에서는 신앙 상승 파치요다 시기 당상되는 종화가 넣어봤어 소리에서 당상 종화가 넣어봤고 마스 식침부여랬어 지당 그러니까서 사염당 같은 종합이 노반 직선 같은 망고 여러 와 어떤 게 인터서 되게 가능하더니 다 가르쳐놨더니 던르고 시그 파치 되고 뭐라 문제야라더니 가르치고 해서나더니 다 무슨 그런 거 제가 소란데 그래서 지나고 무슨 특제 요기가 되게 반도체 모형이었어.
It really comes down to Guru Rinpoche that the great teachings of the Buddha have not deteriorated, have not fallen under the sway to obstacles that would prevent them. And as we mentioned, there are outer, inner, and secret obstacles, and these are all obstacles that Guru Rinpoche has the heart wish, the great compassionate aspiration to rid ourselves of, to help us clear them away. And the inner obstacles that are the outer obstacles that we are faced with today are some of these things like in our outer world. Right now the elements are so unstable. We have a lot of difficulty with obstacles in the outer world. such as, we have hurricanes and earthquakes and great floods and so on. There's a great imbalance right now. And to help us with this, then we should supplicate Guru Rinpoche.
Oh, yeah. That is she parchitin jongship in Jipa. That's in Buddhist. And Nanga parchite countries and Pasa New Meeting, Nasa Pintam Dayos. Nasa Mamba Yang Womishiba, and Nickers, Maya Mepa, Tinjigitani, Nasatani, Lord Nasa Jixon that and Damana Legures, to Soda Caralagores and Atanita, and the Nanga purchasing this new meeting.
And so then we supplicate Guru Rinpoche to clear away the danger of these outer obstacles. And then we also meet with inner obstacles in this degenerate times. In the degenerate times, it's said that the inner obstacles of illnesses will be met with. Illnesses that cannot be cured. They cannot find a cure. Illnesses that are strong and epidemic. And these are some of the inner obstacles that we meet with in the degenerate times. And they can't find the cure because they can't find the cause. If there was a cause, then they would be able to find the medicine. But because they cannot find kind of what is at the root of it, then they cannot dispel it, they cannot cure it.
Oh yeah, that is one.
And that medicine that they cannot find is actually to engage in and accomplish Guru Rinpoche Padma Sambhava.
Nasata Sogitan Nasata Nanga Parchito Sea, young Carson at the Gurumucha, so that there is one circuit and Riveta, Parchiti Sea, Tuchit and Rivalis, Tashiba.
And so again, when meeting with the inner obstacles of illnesses, then we should supplicate Guru Rinpoche because again, Guru Rinpoche is the Buddha that has the special enlightened wish to provide these blessings of clearing away the obstacles and the inner illnesses.
Ni Samye purchase at the country and also Chuba so purchase. Chuba does not Anjiga Karsana, Kashika, Chushinia Tranayan, and Chula Tanikarsana, Chuyu Saratan Karsana, Leptogumares, Kashiki Chunyam Chinyam Tranayan, Chuyu Yamsania Meba, Chunyam Selenia Karsana, Matobia and Yongers, Mongoji Chu, Shinyam Trogure, Kuchunyam Neche, Gotangure, Yenayam Kotaja, Gorkabrakmare, Korangatin, Gorkute Tobuyamare, Thunderwood Karsan, Chuba purchase Delatani. Chubi Chu Chinyang Chuna, Chuchi Togumar, Chushi Samnaya, Chu Togumar. And Rubu Garson Natanita, consequently, Susu Samba Namshintani, Tonate and Moyonga. And if you can see Chutani Tobayana, Sosogun Tobanamshin, Sosog Yams Leyaga, and Rivet and Chudim Tobia. Nicholson and Chutanikas, Tobi on the Tanaya, Tela, Pachi, Gangamon, Chaya, that indeed Koran, and Yongers, and the Inditas of that Telatini. Samye purchase, Chuba does all get it up, Yamden Latani, Gangan Town, and Mabu Tabati Latini, Samye purchase a year. And road to Sevana, Mr. Muchel, Sora de Bugres, the Society to Chetam, Sons of Samba, Lounge and Chutet and Garsana, Tobiatam, and Nikan Segura, Kenyamsila, Yubaget, and Jayamaya Latini, Pantos Jachimus.
So then we come to the secret obstacles, and the secret obstacles that we meet with are in relation to our practice. They are meeting with many obstacles to our own dharma practice. And so there are a few people that hear the dharma and can understand it, but they make no accomplishment. There are others that hear the dharma, want to practice the dharma, but they can't find any opportunity. They have no leisure. There's no opportunity for them to practice. And there are some that the way they wish to practice, things just don't turn out like that for them. They want to practice, but things don't fall down in a way that they can engage in the practice. They may really want to practice, but then, on the way, then an obstacle will come up and then they can't do it. So even though they want to, they can't. And so these secret obstacles really are in regards to our spiritual practice. They block us from being able to engage in our practices. And so what we should do, if this is the case, we should supplicate Guru Rinpoche so that as I wish, may I be able to accomplish. As I wish to practice, may I have the opportunity. And so we should supplicate Guru Rinpoche to remove any of these secret obstacles that lay in our way to practice. And so, as practitioners, then we should pray and we should supplicate that our minds may turn to the Dharma. We should pray and supplicate that Dharma turns into the path. We should pray and supplicate for this to Guru Rinpoche, and Guru Rinpoche has the special blessings to help us to achieve this. And so we should pray that this path may be cleared of obstacles. If obstacles come up for us, then we can't practice well. So we should pray that our path may be free of obstacles. Our path, and that we may supplicate and pray for our long life and no sicknesses. And we should wholeheartedly, sincerely supplicate and pray for these things. And Guru Yoga is an excellent path of practice in this regard. We as practitioners in the beginning, then we have the tradition of the preliminary practices called Mundro. We have the tradition of accumulating this Mundro. So this is where we do a certain amount of this practice and we kind of keep track of this, and so we kind of accumulate, gather this practice. But actually, before we engage in those preliminary practices of Mundro, if we can first practice Guru Yoga, this would be really excellent. We should really practice Guru Yoga before we get into the Mundro. Because actually through practicing this Guru Yoga, we will be dispelling obstacles to our path. And so if we want to be free of any obstacles during our practice of Mundro, we can start first with practicing Guru Yoga, because if we do have obstacles, then we won't be able to practice our Mundro. So actually Guru Yoga is a really wonderful foundation for this.
뭐가 로고야. 지금 개체부 되겠어.
And so then we should engage in our Guru Yoga first, because then we won't have these obstacles, because we will receive the blessings of the root and the lineage lamas. Having received the blessings of the root and lineage lamas, then we won't have any obstacles, we won't have anything that comes up for us, preventing us from engaging in it. So actually, whatever it is that we would like to do, whatever practice we would like to do, we'll be able to fully engage in it without anything standing in our way. Guru Yoga really lays this really a good foundation, a very fine foundation for us. And then we have the 7-line prayer that comes within this practice of the Guru Rinpoche Guru Yoga practice. And there are incredible blessings within this 7-line prayer. Within this 7-line prayer are the connections to the dispelling of these inner, outer, and secret obstacles. It's also called the Vajra mantra. And this is for good meaning. It is a very powerful recitation. It's very short, as it is so concise, it's easy to memorize, so wherever you go, you can remember the words of this and you can recite it. You can visualize Guru Rinpoche before you and recite it. It's quite easy, it's actually quite short. However, it carries the full meaning of the practice of Guru Yoga. It is something that is few in words, but with concise entirety of meaning. Then actually, if you can do, before you engage in your Mundro practice, before you engage in your regular practice session, if you can do the 7-line prayer, recite the 7-line prayer as many times as you can, and then you move on to like the essence mantra, Om Ahum Vajrapuripama Sari Hum, and then you can accumulate that as much as you can, as much as time allows for, and then at the end of that session, at the end of your meditation session of that, then you go to page 68 in your text where you receive the 4 empowerments. You supplicate for and receive the 4 empowerments on 68. And so if you can do that before your practice, then that would be like the Guru Yoga before your main practice.
Samye Zawa Suti Tsuye Tichila, Sindu Sundala, the Central Debate Shivos. The dog Sindu Sundin, they would not be Jachimbre. So the Panya, Sildimatom, the Second Matomada, you do not be Jachimbre, was Madilla Shina Sargumares. And in our tongue of some Dibati Dilla, Jeton, they would turn down the shit that not that the somewhat at the Riores. Need to move that the Tomo mind but at the Riores. Nine was opening. Monta tendo tiva koti which is not doing the general society to be so that's not the tradition that she has on the grace.
And then we come to the point where we can recite the Vajraguru mantra. And actually, the 7-line prayer, the 7-line prayer, and the explanation for the 7-line prayer can be really extensive. It can really be quite extensive. And so today there's not enough time to go into this, and so but tomorrow during this session, if time allows, then I will explain this briefly for you. And actually, even if we took 7 days would not be enough for us to really go into this in any detail. We couldn't even do it for 7 days. There is the outer, inner, and secret meanings of this prayer, and then there is also the common and uncommon, or common and extraordinary explanations of this prayer. And so again, tomorrow, then I can go into this briefly, give this kind of through the context of the uncommon perspective, of the extraordinary perspective. Briefly, we can do this tomorrow at this session. And then we come to the Vajraguru mantra, and it starts with Om Ahung. And when we take these first 3 syllables here, Om Ahung, then they symbolize the Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya.
Om Ahung Lanzar said it as what to do, Kusum Irme Pegutondares, Lanzar said the Irme Palatagores.
And then when we come to the Sanskrit word here, Banzra, this is symbolizes the inseparability of the 3 kayas, the inseparability of Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya.
Nim Guru Senata, Nikas, Lama la Kugira.
And so now we've come to Guru, which is the word for the Sanskrit word for Lama. So now we have the inseparability of the 3 kayas, the Lama.
Soli jiba, sorchi doji, the Rinpoche teni, metopami, soli chombar watani. Metopami nyambo chomba, Rinpoche chomsa na koso, metopama chomba. Pema sena metores. Leading Rinpoche can sala karsegress and sorchi doji segress. Because some year may be lama sorchi doji se. The tongue rest.
And so then we come to. So we have the Guru, the inseparability of the 3 kayas, and so then we come to Pema, and Pema is the word that points to it's like the lotus flower, and so Guru Rinpoche was born in the pollen heart of the lotus flower, and so in another way to refer to Guru Rinpoche, to Padma Sambhava, is Guru Soche Dorje. And so this is Pema, his name.
그 배마 쓰드 시험부터 무드라고 그래서 무드들라 된저게되니다 초고 무드도 탐몽고 무드 초탐몽고 무드 니가라고 그래서.
And then we come to a city. A city is a spiritual accomplishment. It's a state of spiritual accomplishment. And there are the ordinary accomplishments, ordinary cities, and extraordinary cities or extraordinary accomplishments.
이 가서 초고 무드 세나 아니 강나 고그래서는 상지고 고마워 고그래서 상지고 고마워 톱선다 상지고 고마워 톱한테 초고 무드 그래서 아니 탐몽고 무드 세나 되나 시위리 지버리 왕글이 작고글이 세요 시지와 작글이 제로와 저 탐몽글이 그래서.
And so then we have, in terms of these cities, these spiritual accomplishments, then we have the extraordinary accomplishment of Buddhahood. The ultimate accomplished is this supreme state of Buddhahood. And so this would be in the category of supreme city, supreme accomplishment. And then in terms of the common accomplishment, then there are the four activities of pacifying, magnetizing, subjugating, and expanding activities. So these four activities would be the common accomplishments. So again, what we should understand from this syllable city are these two different classifications of spiritual accomplishment. And then hong. Hong is like an exhortation. It's a word of exhortation. So when we say hong, we're saying, please grant me, grant to me, please grant me. And so we're saying, with this home, grant me these common and supreme cities.
Yes.